Hey everyone, we'll get going in just a minute once we have a quorum. Apologies for the delay. Hey Sean, can we please promote Peter to a panelist?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Thank you.
No problem. There we go.
Thanks so much, Sean. Welcome everyone. This is ANC 1C, ABC and Public Safety Committee meeting. Jake Valaschini, Commissioner in 1C07, Chair of the ABC and Public Safety Committee. We have a quorum now with Commissioner Peter Wood joining us. With that, we can move to the only item on the agenda, which is an application for a modification to a cannabis license. Do you want to raise your hand if you're here to present on that? And Sean will promote you.
It's Bo that's here for the applicant.
Yep, it's Bo. There we go. Okay. Bo, we have you here now. Are you with us?
How about now?
All right, I think we have you now.
Great.
Bo, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So this is in reference to, for the record, this is in reference to Abra 126952, license modification for Wash Hydro, medical cannabis retailer located at 2318 18th Street Northwest. Um, and the existing medical cannabis retailer applicant is requesting to operate a safe use treatment facility at 2318 18th Street Northwest. The medical cannabis retailer with approximately 2,552 square feet of space currently provides cannabis flowers, cannabis concentrates, a line of edible products, and home delivery services to registered patients in Washington, D.C., which the ABC and Public Safety Committee approved earlier this year. The applicant is requesting to add a safe use treatment facility endorsement to its current operations. There's also attached to this a Abra 126952. Is that any different? No, that's exactly the same as the other one.
Dispensary license.
Sorry, say that again.
The dispensary license, that's the original dispensary license.
Ah, got it. The original license was attached as well.
That's correct.
Ah, it's rescinding the one and then adding in the other. Okay. Cool. That's all I think we need for the record. Bo, you're here to represent Wash Hydro, correct?
That's correct.
Cool. You want to tell us a little bit about this?
So the safe use treatment facilities are a new, something new that the district government has added on to. And the goal of the District of Columbia is to get people off the streets from smoking cannabis. and putting them in somewhere else that's safe and secure for them to smoke cannabis and not be in front of the public smoking it on the street, which I think is a benefit to the community. Um, you know, I'd like to tell you, I'll answer any questions, but I can tell you this: once you guys approved us for the dispensary in Adams Morgan, the Abaca used us as a template for everyone else. And I think that's going to be the same situation with the safe use treatment facility. We've built up a good rapport with the ABCA Commission and Inspector Peru. And I feel like they felt like we would represent the city well and that we would do it right, just like we did with the dispensary, and that we would set a good standard for everyone else that wants to open up a safe use treatment facility after us. I know part of the aim is that we have a lot of tourists coming into the area. And when they come in, you know, and they buy products, because DC allows you to sign up for a short-term membership, or not membership, but medical card. You can get 3 days for $10, which is quite popular. But then where do the people go and smoke? And I think the district is trying to address that right now with allowing these safe use treatment facilities to come into play so that they could go upstairs. So how it would work that we're envisioning, customer would come in, they would sign up, or they already have a DC medical card. They would be allowed to go upstairs, enjoy cannabis, and then leave. And we think we're going to restrict their time in the facility to about 30 minutes. And, you know, because we don't want anybody up there getting intoxicated or having any types of problems. You know, I can envision people maybe going to dinner, coming up and using the facility before or after dinner. The hours are going to be, I think, from 10 in the morning till 11 at night. But I think the 11 at night would be on Fridays and Saturday nights. And then the other hours, it would run concurrent with the stores open. And currently we're open from 11 in the morning till 9 at night, Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're open from 11 to 11 at night. 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. We're going to have seating for about 15 people is what it would run. We'll have fresh air coming in and out of the facility. We'll also have filtration systems very similar to what's used in the hookah lounges that are in Adams Morgan right now. And most of these, like directly across the street from us, there's a hookah lounge that's the same size as we are. It allows 42 people in there. We are not going to be anywhere close to that amount. It'll have video surveillance that'll be tied in to the surveillance system that's currently in Wash Hydro. So everything will be recorded. There'll be a key lock on the door that allows people in. And then we're still trying to figure out, like, if we're going to put a security person there or if we're just going to have a store employee there. The only issues that we're running into is that we don't want to put an employee there full time that's intoxicated. So what we might do is have security watch it from the facility downstairs, the dispensary. And with the camera system that we have there, we're monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have cameras outside the building. We'll be placing cameras inside the building in the hallways. We just recently had a current inspection for fire to make sure everything was working as far as the fire alarms and safety systems go in the facility. Tomorrow we're being inspected by the Department of Building and Inspections because that's required to get the license as well. We put in upgraded some smoke alarms, some exit signs, things that weren't in the building in that particular space before. And we've got a lot of window space there. So it's lightly lit and bright. We've got two areas in the store where that could be kind of like private if you and a friend wanted to sit down and smoke. They don't go all the way to the ceiling, but it was a former office space. So there does have a couple offices in there, and then there'll be a couple communal areas. And I think the most sought after spot in the facility will be the front windows that look down over 18th Street because it really gives it a good view of the city. And I have to tell you, it kind of reminds you of being in Amsterdam if you've ever been there before. Just getting a view of the city and looking up and down the street. I think the view at night is going to be excellent up there. With that, I'll answer any questions that you guys have.
Looks like Commissioner Peter Wood has a question or two.
Okay. Hi, Peter.
Hi, thanks. How's it going? How are you doing?
Good.
So, I mean, I don't have too many questions. I know we've talked about this a bit. I know it's a new kind of adventure within DC. So I guess some of the questions I think shouldn't be targeted to any specific business, but it's kind of the city's burden to bear. But like one I have, and it's more of I feel an obligation to ask the question, even though I think it's a bit unfair, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's okay.
It's like the case that's often with alcohol with liquor licenses for whatever amount of truth to this kind of type of accusation exists, is often what is the impact on neighboring residential and even commercial properties if someone were to hypothetically become very intoxicated, then they're leaving the premises, and then you have an intoxicated person that is out in public space that could cause problems. Like it sounds like you've been addressing this through time limits for how long people can stay in, but is there any more detail you can offer of just like preventative measures to ensure that that type of scenario of a person who becomes very under the influence of cannabis is leaving the premises, so he's not really your responsibility anymore, but he was? And do you foresee that becoming an issue? And if so, how do you prevent it? And if not, why is that?
I think that's a real good question. And generally I would go to the city for guidance, but they have not supplied us with any guidance of that nature as of yet. So I think it's going to be our responsibility to monitor individuals and to ensure that someone doesn't overconsume. And I think the district does a pretty good job of that now because they limit the amount of THC that can be taken in. So, say for instance, a person got a pack of pre rolls, which is a very popular item in the city currently right now. People come in and get them, and now what they do is that they go across the street from us and they smoke weed openly right there on the street. Um, so I think that amount of THC won't lend itself to anybody becoming overly intoxicated. And I think as a responsible business in the city, if someone consumed a 200 milligram package of edibles and then ate the whole package, I think we would have to step in. And I really don't know what type of ability we would have to limit their movement, other than encouraging the person to, hey, you just ate 200 milligrams. That's pretty strong. And, and trying to judge what their level of tolerance is for that type of a product. But we certainly would not encourage anyone to take in that much THC at one time. And I think what we have to do is we have to put some signage in the store. Maybe we put some education on the website, and certainly I would take any guidance that you gentlemen would offer to us, to look at and see how we could make this work, because I really do think that we're going to be a model for the city. And I think that's a great question. And I'm going to chat GBT when I hang up with you guys and see what kind of assistance I could get from them.
I appreciate that. I mean, it's even up to this point, you guys have done a really good job of being very transparent, communicative, and just going by the book and beyond. So I wouldn't expect anything less for this. And I'm, interested to see how things can advance. And also, kind of joking, kind of not. If someone has 200 milligrams of edibles, I don't think getting to limit their movement is going to be too big of an issue.
I can't disagree with you on that one. That's a lot of THC. And I could tell you, in Adams Morgan, most of our patients, and I've got the demographics, I could get them and share them with you guys. The majority of our patients are over 40 years old, and they're already pretty responsible people. And the tourists that come in, they're generally from like 30 to 50 years old. You know what I mean? And most of the people are visiting local restaurants or bars in the area, and they seem, overall to be pretty responsible. We don't have any a big crowd of 20 to 30. It's just they're not our customers. Quite frankly, they can get marijuana from other sources, and as we get older, we tend to get marijuana from more responsible sources. And I think that's kind of like the way that the store has gone for us. That's what we're seeing in Adams Morgan. So those are the two sets of customers that are out there. Of course, on Friday and Saturday nights, that's when we've seen the most consumption outdoors. with the open areas that, they've put in for the restaurants and stuff like that. Um, but in general, I would say, Peter, I don't really see a lot of people walking down the street in Adams Morgan intoxicated. But I'm not there at 3 in the morning, and we're not going to be open at 3 in the morning. And since we opened Wash Hydro in 2016, we made it a point to clear out before the bars started to let out, because we just don't feel that that's a good combination once people are intoxicated to be throwing cannabis into the mix. So as a business, we just thought it was in our best interest to close earlier than what people got out of bars. I think the before dinner crowd and the after dinner crowd is probably where we're going to see the most business, because that's how it is now. And just for the other two members of the ANC, Wash Hydro was selected because we put in a request to be allowed to sell cannabis till 11 o'clock at night. And the city had limited it till 9 p.m. before that. And all 13 members of the cannabis board came down and visited the store. They talked to us. They all asked us questions. And we told them, we said, well, we think it's a little unfair that you can consume alcohol till 3 in the morning, cigarettes anytime you want, other prescription drugs. There's 24 locations in the city that are open till midnight and 24 hours. And the board left out of there and said, hey, we think you're right. We're going to let you go until 11 o'clock. And it's helped our business quite a bit, because we see this before dinner rush and after dinner rush. And I think that's what we're going to see in the safe use treatment facility as well.
Yeah, thanks. That answers my questions. Really appreciate that. That's great context.
Not a problem. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you guys the truth.
Appreciate that, Bo. We've got a couple of questions in the Q&A section from Brian Barr from the Adams Morgan bid.
Okay.
The first is whether or not this will be upstairs from the cookie store, and I believe the answer to that is yes. It's going to be above Insomnia Cookies, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Kind of a good combination. The dispensary in the basement, the cookies in the middle, and then the consumption lounge on the top. So cookie store is going to get busy one way or the other.
Yeah. Is there an indoor staircase then that goes from the basement up to the second and third floors? And would this be in the second and third floors, or just in the second floor space?
So the building's constructed pretty unique. So there's the basement, then the first floor, and then we would be in the second floor. And then above the second floor, there's a third floor and a third and a half floor.
Yeah.
Is the way that it's constructed. So there'll be a cage there, basically, that allows the residents to go up above the facility, and then blocks. So at night, that's locked. And currently, right now, it's locked at the cookie store. But we dealt with the neighbors that are there, and we agreed with them that the cage door should be moved up past our location. And both Rachel, that lives there, and the new tenant that's there, they were both very happy about that, and they had no problems. And Rachel, the tenant on the third and a half floor, she's lived up there the whole time since Wash Hydro's operated, and we've never had any problems. And any time that she's ever had any questions or anything like that, we've always gotten along with her very well, and we hope to keep that relationship strong with them. And that stairwell is 36 inches and has a rail.
Okay. So it will be a separate entrance then through the store, or so folks will go into the basement and then go up through like a back staircase once they've already entered the store?
No, they'll go. They would come into the store and make their purchase, and then when they exited the store, they would come out and they would go up the front stairways, like going to Insomnia Cookies, and then go up to the second floor.
Got it. So the stairway continues up from Insomnia
Stairway
Cookies.
up on the
So
on
they
the
really
right side of the building.
they really can just pick up, their stuff downstairs and then some cookies and then make their way all the way up with everything they need.
Right. And I think it's important also, just for your knowledge, there's no sales allowed in the second floor in the safe use treatment facility.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's no sales of anything up there. We're allowed to have vending machines for soft drinks and water and stuff like that. But as far as like sales of any cannabis can't happen up there. There's no sales of anything in the safe use treatment facility. basically it's like a living room in your house. There'll be some TVs, some couches, some chairs that you can sit down and smoke in. And then I'm pretty sure, like tentatively what our plan is to have an attendant come through every 15 minutes and just make sure everything's cleaned up, the trash is secured, there's nothing in the building. We've put a lot of smoke detectors in there already, at the building inspector's direction, and the facility will be monitored. Every inch of it will be monitored by camera and recorded.
Thanks, both. The other question for Brian is, will this be exclusively for customers of the downstairs dispensary? Is there an additional cost to go to the safe use facility?
So right now, the object is that if you're a customer of the dispensary, that we would allow the safe use facility for you. But if you have a out-of-state medical card, if you made a purchase from our dispensary, we would allow you to use up there. But we have to keep that tight because we can't have anybody going up there with illicit product. So
Yep.
that's a main goal for us right there, is no illicit product in the building. So it just won't be open to the general public. You're actually going to need a DC medical card, or you're going to need a temporary card that the city sells. And the other thing is that because do you guys know what red boxes are?
No.
Box. So the city has a program that anybody that's does business with the city, or if you do business with the city, or if you have a cannabis business and provide a service for the city, any resident that receives services from the city, as far as like assistance, they have an ID that's got a red box on it. And that red box, we're obligated to give that consumer 25% off because they're on public assistance from the city. And if you have a red card, and even if you don't purchase from the city, but you want to go up there, we're going to have to let those residents in, because they could be in a situation where they live in public housing and they're not allowed to consume cannabis on the premises there. So these facilities would be for their use as well. So
Cool. That seems like a win-win. Couple of other questions. It does look like the second floor does share a wall with the neighboring building, if you're looking at the front of the building to your left.
yes,
What are you all doing just to make sure that you don't have smoke penetration that goes through to any of your neighbors?
filtration, the same type of filtration that they're using in hookah bars in the city. And I'm actually working with Beacon Air, who does, they're specialists in building automations for bringing in fresh air in and out of the building. So that's what we want to do. We want to move air outside the building, because, when you're ingesting cannabis, it's kind of like being in a cigar bar or the hookah situation. Most of those facilities don't bring fresh air in, but I think it's imperative that we figure out a way to bring fresh air into the building, and to evacuate the building on a schedule, maybe every 10 or 15 minutes, to try to clear the air out of the building. And then with the four carbon filters that we're going to put in there, they should clean the air and scrub the air. Each one of those filters does 1,250 square feet. So we're going to put capacity in there for 5,000 square feet, just to ensure that there is no issues like that with any of our neighbors, rather above or to the sides of us. And I believe the buildings to the, if we were going down the street instead of up the street, I think there's 12 inches of brick and block in that particular area there. And we do have adequate window space in the building to bring fresh air in and out of the building as we operate, as it sits currently.
Cool. I mean, yeah, looking at the building to your north as well, you've got a little bit of an air gap between those
Right.
two. But, I'd be a little bit worried that some of those folks might, open their own windows for air ventilation, and if air is being evacuated out of your facility that isn't being filtered, that does have cannabis, I don't want, neighbors that are right there to have to deal with that if that isn't something that they want.
Yeah, and we appreciate that as well. That's why we, instead of just putting one filter in And those filters are around $1,900 a piece. That we decided to go with 4 filters because we figured, we might as well use overkill per se in the facility, because we are dealing with medical products, and so like someone that's, you want clean air no matter where you're at. And right now, currently, on a side subject, we deal with ventilation currently in the dispensary, and the whole buildings do, because I'm sure you're all aware of the situation that the city and those blocks there in particular that we're having with rats. And so we're constantly trying to ventilate the buildings as it is, just to make sure that those odors don't exist from the start. So we're very cognizant of that issue there, and we'll take every step. And I would just say this too: if there ever is a problem, we're open to solving the problem.
Right.
And I think that's all we can do. I don't know. I'd like to run the air up towards the top, is what I'd like to do. And I think you're saying the north side. And I think if I'm standing in front of the building, is the north side the side where the entrance is going up the steps? Is that where we're saying the north side is? I say up the hill and down the hill.
Yeah, if you were looking at the front of the building,
Yeah.
then the north side is to your right-hand side.
Yes, exactly.
And there's that little gap, maybe like 2 to 3 feet between you and like your neighbors to the north.
So that small gap right there that you're referencing, that gap expands after you go back 6 or 7, maybe 10 feet, something like that.
Okay.
Then it opens up because the back of the hostel's there, and then all the garbage and stuff is right there. So that's quite a large area when you get to the back and the side. But there is that narrow 3 feet area for the first 10 feet or something like that you walk into that area currently. But our windows would be above that area there. So, and that would be the nail salon, which we also have a good relationship with them as well.
Cool. I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is like you're trying to be a good operator. And if anything comes up that you're willing to work with your neighbors, work with us, work with ABCA, if any modifications need to be made. But I don't feel the need to, pre-assess the situation, given that it seems like you've put a lot of thought and energy into trying to be a good neighbor here. So we can just take it as it comes.
I've traveled to Amsterdam quite a bit in my younger days, and I was always fascinated how the coffee shops work there. And and I just a name that we tagged on the early on in Adams Morgan was Green Light District, and and that's kind of what it's been. You know what I mean? There's several other facilities that are getting ready to open up, and I think that I think for some reason that Adams Morgan is going to be where cannabis is going to be known for in the city. And I don't know if Peter shared with you guys or not, but we've also been granted a cultivator's license in the city too. So we'll actually have our own products in our store. So if currently we have the delivery service, the cultivation service, the dispensary service, and if we were able to get the safe use treatment facility and a manufacturing license endorsement, because once you have certain things, you get endorsements. And this safe use treatment facility, it's an endorsement on the license. I think that's why they have the original license mentioned. And we're looking to represent the city and Adams Morgan the best we can. And I hope you guys haven't had any complaints about us since we've been open in the dispensary. We've tried to do a very good job there.
Not a single one, Bo.
Great.
It's one of the reasons why we really appreciate. When your name came up as this modification, I think I might have had issue with some of the other shops, but y'all have been great. Others have been a challenge, but y'all have been great.
Thank you very much. And we've encouraged, because every shop that's getting ready to open has come around to us, and we've tried to tell them, do everything that Jason Prue asked you to do, be a good neighbor, and think about the position you're putting the ANC commissioners in when they approve you, because it could be their jobs if you don't represent the city well. And of course, as you guys know, there's been at least one in Adams Morgan that's lost its placard license for not being a good neighbor and doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Yep. And then a couple that are still operating without a license at all. So we'll see what happens there.
100% on that one. You know what I mean? And, and I think, we've been trying to work with the city, just for your guys' information, to where, we find that once we have our own product that we're growing ourselves and we can sit in our location and we can talk to consumers about the products, being the grower and the retailer, is going to give us a tremendous advantage. The only thing that keeps these illegal shops open right now, and I would, push this out there to you guys, is the fact that it takes 15 minutes for us to sign a customer up with the city's program. Whereas if we could cut that down with the city, and I'm a licensed metrics programmer. So what that means is that the software that I run in my businesses, we created ourselves, and we're licensed to integrate our software into metrics software for uploading information. And we've developed a system to where very much when you come into our store and you're an out-of-state customer and you've got a medical card where we put you into the system, we can do the same thing with DC people coming into DC for these temporary cards. And we could have that customer in and shopping in under 5 minutes, where now it takes somewhere between 15 to 18 minutes. If we can cut that time down, we will drive these other stores out of business because we have better selection, our products are all tested, and the stores are clean and neat, and there's no funny business going on there. And I really think, the best way for us to eliminate these other stores is through service, selection, testing, and the ability to get them in and out of the stores quicker than what it takes them right now. Because that's been our biggest challenge since we've been open. Oh, well, I'm not going to hang around. I can do it if you can do it right now, but if I got to do this, I'm not going to do it. So, if you guys got the city's ears at all, I would love it if you could push that to them, because we really think that would put us on level playing fields with the illegal stores and give us the ability to hurt them through competition. Because no matter what illegal stores in Adams Morgan right now, they don't have the selection of flour, they don't have the selection of edibles, they don't have the selection of disposables. We just have them beat in every area. And this week, a longtime resident of Adams Morgan, Mark with Pink Fox, got licensed, and he's going to bring fresh edibles into the marketplace. And we have deals in place with him to where, we'll have cookies, brownies, things of that nature, which is going to, again, just elevate DC's game, because he's going to deliver 3 times a week to the store. So we'll have fresh baked goods in the store with no preservatives. They haven't been sitting on a shelf somewhere for a long period of time. This is going to add that nuance of like Amsterdam into the stores in Adams Morgan that are licensed, and the stores everywhere in the city. And I think these are nothing but good things for the city that's coming on board here. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are grateful to have the opportunities and to have these licenses. And I know we surely are. And none of us want to mess it up. We just want to move ahead with our communities and do the right thing.
That's awesome, Bo. We really appreciate it. It really is kind of a golden era for entrepreneurs in this area. And I love too that it's also an industry that is allowing for small operators to flourish right now because because of some of the federal government's like unreasonableness around this still too. So it really allows some like small entrepreneurs to be smart and to flourish. And we'll definitely take that message back to ABCA. This is actually my last commission meeting. I have retired from the ANC for a while. I'm hanging up my hat for a bit. So I hope that you all have a really good Peter's continuing on. 2 other current commissioners are continuing on, but otherwise we'll have a complete refresh of the commission for the next 2 years. I really hope you get some good, friendly commissioners who are gonna, treat you all well, like, like the professional business operators that y'all are. And if it turns out that you don't over the next couple of years, let me know and I'll run against whoever it is that's not treating you well.
Well, there you go, Jake. We appreciate that. And, and I'm sure you're going to get bored with nothing to do over the next couple of years. Maybe 6 months, you'll be rethinking it.
I have plenty of other things going on in my life right now, but maybe I will get bored. We'll see.
All right, we'll see what happens. Well, you're surely going to be missed, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done for us at Wash Hydro. And we're not going to let, no matter who's in charge, we're not going to let the city down, and we're not going to let the ANC down, because the citizens of the neighborhoods are what our bread and butter is. and we just can't let them down because they're our business. And that's the way it should be.
I really appreciate it, Bo. Thanks for being
Thank
such a
you
good
very much.
operator in town. It's great. I will make a motion that we make a recommendation to the full ANC on the first January meeting, which will take place on January 8th, 2025, as a recommendation for a letter of support for this modification.
Second.
All right, great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously out of committee and will be moved to the new full ANC 1C commission in their first January 8th meeting. Bo, thank you again for your presentation. Really appreciate it. Brian, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your great questions, and peace out, everybody.
We'll miss you, Jake.
I'll miss you too. Thanks for everything you've done.
Bye, guys. Happy holidays.
Yep, you
Motion
too.
to adjourn.